I'm not a total idiot. I'm not alone. There's voices. Look at that! Look at that! It's the sun! Why am I surprised to see the sun? Well, we have had the wettest January in 150 years. It has been miserable. And finally, a little bit of sunshine, and that glowing ball of yellow comfort has lulled me into a false sense of security, and I'm out doing something possibly incredibly stupid. I'm out attempting to do an ultralight camp in sub-zero temperatures with less than half the pack weight I would normally have this time of year.
I'm starting to get cold.
And hike 15 miles up through the mountains in a pair of shorts. I'm in the forest above Newcastle. I've been out recceing and trying to find somewhere that I'll camp tonight. I took a shortcut and here we are among the trees. I told myself, no Stephen, today you're not going to take a shortcut. You're going to stick to the proper trails. You're not going to go down through the trees following some random trail. And well, here we are. So I got to get out of Donard Forest. I found a possible shortcut through a housing estate, which will then take me a little bit of a road and bring me over to Tollymore Forest, through Tollymore Forest, up into the mountains, which is going to be absolutely freezing. There's snow on the tops, the wind chill's -11, and I just hope I've got enough kit to keep me warm up there. Across the mountains, down the mountains, and then try and find somewhere to camp for the night. We'll see what happens. Whoop. I think this might be a mountain bike trail. Well, we're going the right way. I've just spotted the trail down through the trees. I can't help but feel I would just been better following the official trails. Apparently this trail continues that way. Am I lost already? Is that it? Oh, here we go. I should probably explain what's going on. Why am I doing this? Well, one, I've always wanted to try going ultralight in cold conditions in winter. And on my back today, I've got a total of 7.5 kilograms. 3 kilograms makes up my tent and my sleep system, so that's ridiculously light. I've also got a cook system. I've got something that's going to generate heat the entire night. And I'm also carrying, you might see these in a bit, I'm also carrying spikes that I can put on my feet if it gets snowy and icy up here. I've also got multiple other layers. I've got spare base layers that are dry. I've got running trousers I can put on. I've got running waterproof trousers. If you take away my consumables and you take away my electronics to get it down to the base weight, it's only 6 kilograms, which is only about 1 kilogram heavier than what I would take for a typical ultralight summer camp. Normally in winter, I am carrying somewhere between 15 and 22 kilograms. So this is less than half of that. But I do have another motivation. And my other motivation for doing this is that I am, for better or worse, I'm training for an ultra marathon at the end of March, a 55 kilometers, so 35 mile ultra marathon. And I need to just put a lot of time on my feet, doing distance, and I'm going out and hiking with a heavy backpack. It'll help with that, but it's not ideal. So I thought, can I plot a really long route and carry a reasonably light backpack as part of my ultramarathon training? So yeah, that's why we're doing this. Now, I'm not stupid. I have planned a location to camp where if I get too cold or I have to, I'll be able to bug out. I'll be able to leave relatively quickly. It would be idiotic to do something like this and go and camp somewhere where I've got no escape. Oh, this is great. I said to myself, I'll stick to the trails, then I'll keep my feet dry for as long as possible. I am now running down a river. This is literally a river. You idiot, Stephen. You complete idiot. Why do I keep doing this to myself? There's a great quote in Alice in Wonderland where Alice says, I often give myself very good advice, but I seldom often follow it. and that really applies to me. I know what's sensible, but somehow my brain compels me to take the stupid option. I'm a little bit concerned because here's my route, and you can see, start here, I've done about a fifth of the total distance. It's taken me an hour and a half so far, and if I don't get round this within the next 4 hours, it's going to be dark by the time I get back down. If it's dark, I'm not going to be able to easily find a place to set up and camp for the night, so I gotta push a log tripod here, as I like to call it, a log pod. But to give me more energy, I got some squashies, strawberry and cream squashies. Thanks, Callum. Bit of a drop, but I mean, yeah, look, it's all bent out of shape. Just gonna go this way. I'll be into the mountains soon. Time-wise, did okay, just about got through there in about half an hour. I've got two options up in the mountains. One is to take the summit trail and one is to take the lower down trail. But if I want to take the summit trail, I got to get up there in about, what time is it? In about 60 minutes. These are my new Harrier Helvellyn Pro carbon fiber hiking poles. Each one of these weighs about 125 grams. They're super, super lightweight. And they're basically a force multiplier. Let me transfer some of the load over my entire body. Which basically means that I'll put in exactly the same effort, but I'll get more for that effort. I'll be able to hike further for the same effort, or I'll be able to hike faster for the same effort. Would you look at that? This is about to get interesting. We're now going to be heading up into the cold, into the wind, into the ice, into the snow. It's about to get much, much colder and a lot more difficult, but the sun's coming out. And here we've got one of these YouTubers out out videoing themselves.
YouTuber, is it?
How's it going?
Not too bad.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, doing both.
What's your channel?
Adrian Mullen.
Go check out Adrian Mullen. He's been in Australia for 9 years and now he's come back to Northern Ireland. Stuck at the gate. If you get the right conditions, this is a absolutely fantastic route that I'm doing today. And if you want to find out what this route is, I have published the route up on my website under the routes section. I'll put a link down in the description. So if you want to go and do this route sometime yourself, I've stuck a map up there and I'll stick a GPX file as well. And of course I'm able to do that because my website is really easy to manage because it's built on Squarespace, who just so happens to be the sponsor of this video. It's been quite nice having Squarespace as a sponsor because my original website went offline. It got hacked. It was built on WordPress. Really, it's a platform really notorious for getting hacked. So when Squarespace came along and offered to be my sponsor, I was like, I could get paid to create a new website for myself. So it worked out quite well. And that means every time I gotta mention Squarespace in the video, I can go and add a new page to my website. It's really easy. I think it took me maybe 15 minutes to put the page together. Because if you can use a word processor, you can pretty much use Squarespace. It's all laid out visually, and it's super easy to go and edit stuff and add stuff and change stuff. And when you're starting from scratch, you don't need any design skills either, because you can just pick a pre-built template and drop your content into that. So I'm quite enjoying having Squarespace as a sponsor this year. And if you think you might want to put a website together, I can get you 10% off your first website or domain name. Right, whew, it's starting to get cold. It's starting to get cold. I might not be keeping these shorts on. I mean, I'm not going to take my shorts off and hike. That would be obscene. I mean, I might add some extra layers. Nobody, why did I even say that? Nobody wants to see. Some things you really shouldn't say, Stephen. There's Nicky. He's on his way up Burna. He's going the opposite direction. Got a decision to make. I can keep going that way or this way. Right, I'm going this way. I think the view is nicer from this route. It's also not a shortcut, but it's a little bit of a shortcut. The only problem is it looks like it might be frozen up there. If it's not frozen up there, this route is just bog. And if it is just bog, my feet will be wet, muddy and frozen for the next 3 hours. But it's not one of my videos if I'm not making a questionable choice. So, where is it? Where is it? Oh wait, they were in the different pocket. Got some nuts, some protein trail mix, peanut butter and raisins and look at that. This worked out all right. The ground up here is mostly frozen, so I think the shortcut's paid off for once. Oh, that's boggy. That's boggy. Let's go. I feel somewhat obligated to give a little bit of a disclaimer once again, because you quite frequently hear of people dressed in trail running shoes in winter conditions getting rescued by mountain rescue. So I think I should address why I'm different. And there is a legitimate reason. I have been trail running and mountain running in these kinds of conditions now for 7+ years. I know my limits. I know the limits of my kit. I know when I'll need to change my kit. Despite the fact that I'm still wearing shorts, I'm sweating, I'm warm, I'm not cold, my feet are warm, my legs feel totally comfortable, my core's warm, my head's warm. I've got spikes with me for when it actually gets properly slippy. This snow is pretty grippy at the minute. And I've got extra layers and I've got emergency kit. I'm properly equipped for the conditions and I'm experienced to know what I'm doing when I'm out here in these conditions. You, on the other hand, might be an inexperienced idiot. Therefore, what's kind of safe for me and within my limits might be the thing that puts you in hospital or leaves you frozen like a popsicle. I have my emergency plan all mapped out. My wife, she knows my route today, and mentally I'm thinking, right, if I fall and I hurt myself, here's the order of things I do. I will immediately, if I fall and hurt myself, immediately open up my bag, take my insulated top out, put it on, take out my sleeping bag and my bivy bag, put the sleeping bag in the bivy bag and crawl inside it and call for help. I've mapped out the scenario in my head already. What do you see this? Ooh. burns. Woo. It's getting cold. All right, despite rumors, I'm not a total idiot. It's starting to get cold, so I am gonna layer up. I'm gonna put my running trousers on, and I'm gonna put my waterproof trousers over the top of that. And that's gonna give me a lot of extra heat, a lot of extra warmth. And I'm also cracking open a packet of hand warmers here. Drop one of these down the inside of my gloves. Keep my hands toasty. I've had a snack. I'm a little bit dehydrated, but there's a freshwater spring that'll be out in about half an hour. I'll get something to drink. Whoa, getting cold. Got to keep moving. If you stop trail, I always say that trail runners are a little bit like sharks. Sharks can't breathe if they stop moving, and trail runners in winter conditions freeze. If the snow was any deeper, I'd be turning around and going back the way I came because it would slow me down too much. But it's mostly frozen on the surface, but it's still not really slippy. I want to avoid putting on my light ice spikes until I really need to. Woo! I might put my spikes on now. These are Cthulhu Exo spikes. So they're not micro spikes as such. You know the carbide bit on the bottom of your hiking poles? It's like a grid of those. So they work really well if it's just shallow snow and like surface ice on, you know, on kind of reasonable terrain. You wouldn't use them on really steep terrain or really slippy snow because they don't have anywhere near the same grip as micro spikes or crampons, but you can actually run with these on. They're very annoying to put on. There we go. Let's go and try that bit of ice, and then I slipped on again. Solid. Gotta get to the summit within the next 20 minutes if I'm to stay on schedule. Whew. Push, push, push. Tap, tap, tap. Hey, Juju. Oh, I needed that. We're almost at the summit. That's the summit of Cometa. Look at this drift. Hey, if you got down in here, you'd be kind of sheltered for the night. Right, I'm not stopping. I've drank about half a litre of really cold water, which is going to chill me, so whoo, I gotta get downhill as quick as possible. Look how deep this drift is. Wow! You can descend quite quickly on snow like this if you sort of lean back and go heels first. This is actually the deepest I've seen the snow up here in a long time. Whoa! I'm right on the edge of starting to feel cold. So with these wind conditions, it'd be a really stupid idea to try and camp somewhere up here overnight, especially when I haven't really camped with this lightweight kit before. Don't want to end up in mountain rescue, so as I said, I'm gonna go down and find somewhere a bit more sheltered, but it's to get the below freezing even at sea level tonight. I'm gonna get myself down off the mountain, and then I've got a local remedy that'll sort out the cold. You're gonna like this. Can I get a half-pound cheeseburger with relish, gravy chip, and a bottle of Fanta? Right, that local remedy is called a good old feed. All my kit is wet, I'm damp, I'm clammy, and if I don't inject some kind of heat into my system, I'm gonna get cold before I get a tent or anything set up or get my dry layers. So I'm gonna inhale this burger. I'm going back up into the trees to camp. I'm gonna walk while eating this. I can't stop moving or I'm gonna get cold. I have to hike back up 200 meters into the forest. 15 miles in and I've been moving for 6¼ hours, and it is really starting to get cold really quickly. I've taken my gloves off to eat this food and my hands are going numb. Whose idea was this? Right, I'm gonna try and eat these chips while I walk along. Look at this. The chip shop gave me 3 forks. I think they were pretty sure I was going to be sharing this. No, it's all for me. Oh yes, look at that. Oh, and the reason to get a gravy chip is that the liquid keeps it warmer for longer. No. Nom 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 nom. Oh, I'm full of chips. A burger. The sun is set. It's gonna be dark in about 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna go up, find a spot to camp, get everything set up, and then we'll talk again. Right, tent's pitched. First thing I need to do, I've got nice dry base layers. I need to get these on as fast as possible. And then in here, I've got a pair of down trousers and 2 pairs of down socks. Well, hello. It's an hour later because after I got everything set up, I got kind of cold and tired, and you see my breath in the air in here. And I decided I would have a little nap, so I had a little nap. Let me show you my setup. Right, so this tent, I'll show you outside in a minute, but this is the Durston Axmid. This is the lightest tent I own. It weighs 440 grams. And that's 440 grams without tent pegs, which applies here because I forgot to bring tent pegs. So the first thing I had to do was make some tent pegs. Thankfully, I'm camping in a place made of tent pegs. Forest. This mat here, this is a R3 mat, so it's rated down to like maybe -3 or so. Not ideal for these conditions, but I put a little foil mat underneath to try and boost it a little bit. And then this is my most concerning choice, I'm in my summer sleeping bag. This sleeping bag, it has a comfort of 5, and I need to go 5 or 6 degrees below that. So I've added this over the top. This is the 3 full gear Tyvek bivvy. So it's adding a little bit of waterproofing, and it'll help trapping a little bit more heat. I've got these down socks that'll stick on, that'll add a little bit more warmth. And then I also have down trousers on, and then I'm wearing this insulated top, so I'm hoping that gets the temperature up. That's my cook system. Yeah, I've put my bag over here, and I've put my waterproofs in the bag and my dry bags. I've got this insulated hood I'm going to put on when I'm trying to sleep later, just give me a little bit more warmth. And then I have a bag here that's got a first aid kit, toilet kit, and I've brought several of these. These are hand warmers, so I've cracked a couple of these, stuffed them in my pockets, and then I've got one of these bigger ones that I put on my back, and that should generate heat for the next 12 hours. So really not a lot of kit, but I got a secret weapon that I'm about to test. Let me show you my secret weapon. Oh yeah, actually there's something else. That's my cook system, That's like not very much. I'll maybe show you that later. Actually, I need to take something out of here and stick it in my pocket. That's my stove, little alcohol stove. That's full of methanol, so there's enough ethanol in that to boil about 1 litre of water. But this stuff, once it gets cold, it's really hard to light, so I'm going to stick that in my pocket. I brought a chair with me. You might think this is ridiculous, but this only weighs about 300 grams. Little stool. It's going to be better than nothing. Why might I need a stool? Well, that's because I brought this with me. Look how thin this is. This is the Ganesha stove, and this is a titanium folding wood stove. Look at that. You just open it up and it all falls into place, and I can cook in this. Weighs absolutely nothing. There's a little plate on the inside here. Goes over the top, and this is the world's lightest double chambered wood stove. And what that means is, if you look in here, you can see it's double walled. So there's an outer wall and then an inner wall. And what that does is it gives you a secondary burn, which means that wood and twigs burn cleaner with less smoke. Right, let me show you the outside of the tent. Now, if you look down there, you can see Newcastle way down the distance. This is my first time actually camping in Donard Wood, and I've avoided it because it is so close to civilization. But here we are, the Durston Axsmith Pro, 440 grams of DCF ultralight fabric, and it only takes 4 pegs to set it up, of which I've had to use these twigs because I forgot my pegs, and that's it. Pretty good pitch. It's not to be windy tonight, or it's not to get any more windier, so I'm not even going to stake out the guy lines. Let's see where we get this set up, and I don't want to be too close to the tent because there's some sparks float over, but there's a few down trees over here, which might, I'm looking for somewhere that I could get into where the heat might get reflected back. That looks a little bit too smoky. Yeah, this looks pretty good in here. There's an old stone wall here, which will keep the wind off my back. And if I put the stove there, I can bring up my little stool and sit there. I'll find a rock to put that on so it doesn't scorch the ground. Yeah, this will work. Oh, look. There's the first sign of frost. Okay, it is officially sub-zero temperatures. I don't know, can you see that sparkling on camera? The grass is frozen. Just the trees make a couple of degrees difference, but that's going to spread in there at some point. I need to fill up my water bottles, that's why I'm out, so I'm heading to the river here. I'm using my Salomon fiber filter rather than my pure clear filter, just because the time of year it being and the amount of water that's coming down, the risk of there being kind of viruses or anything else nastier in the water is pretty low. Pretty clean mountain source plus, so I might as well use the faster filter. The one good thing about tonight is the sky is totally clear. I might dander out and try and do some astrophotography later, we'll see. But because the sky is totally clear, it means the cloud level is high, and I'm not camping in mist and high humidity, because those conditions plus cold and not good. Just in case I forget to mention it later, if you're interested in one of those stoves, I've got a discount code for it. Of course I do. Of course he has a discount code. If there is an affiliate system to be had, I'll be there. If you're good at something, never do it for free. First, this stuff here, this dry bracken, it's crunchy. This stuff makes really, really good tinder. gather a bunch of that up. Small twigs, thicker twigs. This is all I brought with me for cutting twigs. Little tiny Swiss Army knife, but it's all you really need. It does the job. These bits of twig on dead trees near the trunk, if you cut them off close to the trunk and smell that, you get like a piney smell. That's fat wood. It's really high in resin, so it burns with a lot of heat. Let's see if we can get this thing going. I've got a little titanium pot here I can boil water in. There's my lighter. These are little wax coated fire layers that I can start piling on the various grades of stuff I find. Chuck in some of this bracken, see if that burns, and then start loading up these thin twigs in the top. I hope this works. We've had, as I said, we've had the wettest January in record, so none of this stuff is bone dry. It's slightly dry, but you can feel, you can just feel from it, touching it, there's moisture in it. You can hear it sizzling, which means the wood is all damp. So it'll be a good test of the stove if it can handle wet fuel. You can feed it from the top here or in underneath the bottom. You wouldn't think it, given the size of that, but there's a lot of heat off that already. I've had to take my hat off. It's amazing. Just it surprises me. I always say this, but it surprises me every single time just how much heat you can get off a tiny little stove like this. And you really don't need to gather that much wood either. These are not very nice cold. I think I'm going to set them beside the fire. Not close enough, hopefully, that the foam box they're in starts to melt or give off some kind of noxious plastics, but just enough to warm them up. They're currently freezing. That looks ridiculous. Can I just point out this is a water bottle? I'm not peeing. Oh no! It sprayed off into the fire. And we'll set that there. I think my mug is slightly too big for the stove. Well, that'll work. I've got a secret weapon. Because this wood is so wet, I brought this with me. This is a pocket bellows. Right, and you open this up, it turns into a pipe this length, and it allows you to blow air directly inside a fire, and it's really, really good at injecting extra oxygen and getting a fire that's maybe a little bit soggy livened up. Just watch this. Ta-da! It's an absolute. If you're going to use one of these stoves, and I highly recommend that you do, get one of these. It makes such a difference. This decaf. Despite how sun wet that wood was, there's really not that much smoke coming off that. I mean, there is a bit. I mean, the wood is soaking, but it's not as much as you'd think. And it's burning. It's definitely burning better than a non-double walled stove would with wood that was that damp. This thing worked quite well and weighs absolutely nothing. I'm impressed. There we go. Ooh.
I'm not alone. There's voices. There's 3 lads setting up camp, not too far from me. Should I go and scare them? Well, I mean, it's a free country. Live as much right, or no right, I suppose as the case may be, to be up here camping as I do. Just as long as they're responsible, I don't care. I don't like unknowns though. I don't like not knowing who's over there. So as soon as I'm done with this stove, I am going to go over and talk to them. I want to know who they are. I want to suss them out. If I go over and they're sitting there with shopping bags full of cans and bottles, I know I'm not going to get to sleep tonight. I'm finding there's a few advantages and disadvantages to camping in Donard Wood, this close to Newcastle. One, I've got excellent 5G, so that's good. Been getting a few emails done. That's also bad because I've been getting a few emails done instead of, you know, relaxing. And the other downside is this is probably one of the most popular camping spots in the morning, so there's a good chance other people are going to turn up, and it's a Friday night. After all my concerns about being too cold, I'm now too warm. Sub-zero temperatures, well, it's maybe slightly warmer in the forest. It's like 1 degree Celsius. Hats off, I'm sweating. I put one of those heat patches on my back, and when I put it on my back, I put on 2 of my base layers. I put on a dry base layer and a base layer that hadn't dried out yet. So the wet base layer was making me feel cold, and now it's dried out, and I am roasted. It's amazing the difference just a little bit of moisture on your skin makes to your... It's amazing the difference just a little bit of like moisture on your skin makes. Like because I was hiking, my skin was wet, I was sweating, and even though I put on dry base layers, I was still putting them onto like wet, sweaty skin. But now that I've dried out, I am so much warmer than I was an hour ago, even though it's a lot colder now. It's a dry cold, which is good tonight. Cup of terrible coffee, some cold chips, and a little stove. What more could you want? Ugh. Some temperature on the chips would be nice. I don't like wasting food though. I'm gonna eat all of these. And then, this is closed cell foam. This could provide a little bit of extra insulation to under my sleeping mat. Ugh. Why are cold chips so horrible? I like this thing. Pretty sure it would definitely work much better if the wood was dry. Doesn't help, this wood's all slightly damp, but that is still an impressive performance. And I'm sitting here a foot away from this and I'm not choked with smoke, even though I'm burning damp wood. There's more head torches on the move again. Don't know if it's the same ones, but I think what's happened is they've come up here near me, they've seen my light, and then they've left, and then they've come back, I think because they've realised the original spot they were at was probably the best place to camp. Yeah, it looks like they are going to camp near me after all. They're definitely getting a visit. I just want to know if I'm camped for the night beside a bunch of Hellions, or not. Don't like the mystery. I want to know who it is. Right, I'm going over to investigate these other campers. It's probably somebody I know. There are eyes looking at me. Is that a deer? It is a deer. Did you see it? Is that another one over there? Oh, there it goes. See it? Oh, no, you can't see it because my stupid hand is in the way. We're going on a deer hunt. Don't know what kind of deer that was, but it was just bouncing through the forest. So yes, I went over. Turned out it was 3 local lads having a camp. One of whom I think has watched a few of my videos. So yeah, they were dead on. Sound. Had a bit of a chat for half an hour. and I've left them in peace, and I've come down for a little dander in the forest. I'm going, I actually don't know where I am, but I'm pretty sure I'll find my way back. Ground is very crunchy, frozen solid. Pretty sure it's not going to register in this camera, but the sky is glorious and covered in stars. I'm going to try taking a few astro photographs on my phone. Pretty incredible what you can get these days with just a phone. It's a beautiful night. It's absolutely freezing though. I'm heading back to my tent. Stove done. You see how little ash comes out of this. That's it. That's it. Next, light rain shower. And it'll be as if it was never here. Now, this stove has got one other trick up its sleeve, but I need to show you that inside the tent. So the last little trick with this stove is that if you happen to have a little alcohol burner, which I do, and well, I put a rock in there to sort of lift things up, I can put my alcohol burner in there. And then I can use it as a windshield and boil some water like this. Get myself into my sleeping bag while I'm still warm. By the way, something else I wanted you to let me know. Doing a bit of an experiment at the minute with longer videos. You might have noticed, you may have not noticed. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. The thinking at the minute is that people are watching longer content on YouTube, so I thought I might as well at least try to make some longer videos. The first one didn't do very well, so we'll see. Normally my sweet spot's been around 25 minutes, but if these longer videos do well, I'll make more of them. Let me know. Right. Time to try and get some sleep, and I think I've earned it after today. It's 5:30 a.m. I'm starting to get cold. I was warm and toasty until about 4 a.m. It started to get windier outside, and I think the wind is coming down and removing any of the air, warmer air from gathering in the tent. So I'm not freezing, but I'm not like toasty warm anymore the way I was. I think I'm gonna make a hot drink. Right, where is it? Here it is. I've been keeping my little alcohol stove warm down the inside of my sleeping bag. This is full of about, I think, 60 mils of bioethanol, which hopefully will light easy enough. There we go. Drop that down in there. Oh, ow, that was a little hot. Put my pot on there. It is a versatile little thing. I just wish this sat on. The guy that makes these did tell me about a pot that was perfect for it, but I did not listen. Gonna have some chicken soup. It's good soup. soup done. I'm gonna make this up next. One of these Huel chicken and mushroom meals. Get some food. There we go. Apparently this chicken and mushroom pasta is vegan. So I think the closest this has ever gotten to a real chicken is if a real chicken has eaten whatever this is made of. There's some kind of chunks in it. I think maybe soya chunks. Shouldn't have been looking. Alright, we are out of here. Packed up, no mess. Whew, let's go. They seem to have survived the night as well. Sunrise. It's been a while since I've seen sunrise. I mean, I've been awake at sunrise quite often over winter, but this has been the first sunrise I've seen in months because there's actually no clouds in the skies. It's a nice way. It's a nice way to finish a walk, right? So, what I think about attempting to ultralight a camp in sub-zero temperatures? Well, it mostly worked. It mostly worked. I did get cold, but I think the reason I got cold is because I had that really long day hiking yesterday. And even though I ate those chips and burger, I didn't eat enough. I didn't eat that much at all actually when I was out hiking. So I think I was running a real calorie deficit. So my guess is my body kind of ran out of food to process around 4 AM, and that's why I got cold. Your body temperature tends to drop in the middle of the night as well. So yeah, interesting experiment. Glad I survived the night. Thank you for coming along with me. Let me know if you like these longer videos. And I'm going to enjoy this walk down to Newcastle where I'm going to go in. Oh, look at the snow on the mountain up there. I can't see it. So the sun is hitting the mountain. It's just... I'm not even going to take a shot of it. I'm just going to... I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for coming along. I'll catch you in the next one. No idea what it's going to be. I'm going to stand here and just admire the view for a few minutes.